Yo, what the fuck's up, y'all? It's your boy King on NBA Music Talk, and we back with another one. Waiting on a few of y'all to come in, like all three of y'all type shit. We just here to talk about the shit that happened today because it was a lot that happened. And there's some wild shit going on today. But okay, so we're gonna start with this one right here. 3 hours ago. I guess all the shit done calmed down now. So we got a lot of questions to ask. So I'll see if I could find a list of all the transactions in one. But I'm definitely going to grade these teams' off seasons a little bit later on. Not now, of course, but much later. All right, so Trey Mann has agreed to sign a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Hornets. Trey Mann, I think he was hurt most of the year last year. You could tell they missed Trey Mann's production because that dude could just flat out score. And the Charlotte Hornets have had an underrated offseason, in my opinion. I think they've had an underrated offseason, especially a great draft. So Terrence Mann, he looked up to Iverson. You could tell in his game how he carries himself. You could tell he got influenced by Allen Iverson. All right, so Detroit traded Simone Fontecchio for Duncan Robinson. Oh yeah, I put out an episode earlier called Free Agency, July 1st. It's on Spotify, iHeartRadio. You know what I'm saying? We're on Audible. We on all that shit. So, Apple too. Apple Podcast. So check that out. For my initial reaction. But this is just pretty much like a repeat of that. It's just like a recap, basically. So Detroit traded Simone Fontecchio to Miami for Duncan Robinson. He had a 3-year, $48 million deal. It was a sign and trade, basically. That's a great pickup for the Pistons. I mean, I like it as a Piston fan, you know what I'm saying? Duncan Robinson went to Michigan, so even though, I'm a Michigan State fan, so that's kind of, awkward. But Detroit needed somebody that was a guy that could run off 9 to 12 quick points from the three-point land. And now you can't double team Cade Cunningham anymore. You can't double team Jaden Ivey anymore. You can't double Jalen Duren anymore. Because then you leave a guy like this wide open. Because a lot of times Robinson gets his shots off of screens. Now in Detroit, he'll get an opportunity to actually hit open shots instead of using all of his energy trying to run and get open. He can just stand there while Cade, Ivy, and the other guys on the team draw those double teams. Robinson, spent his first 7 years in Miami. So, very interesting. Devin Eubanks to the Kings. That's not important. Oh, this is important. Detroit loses Tim Hardaway Jr. and free agency to the Denver Nuggets on a 1-year deal. Big pickup for the Nuggets. The Nuggets had a great day too. Hardaway Jr. is going to help Jokic. Yo, with the team that Jokic has now, he's definitely going to average another triple-double. Possibly might win MVP next year. In my personal opinion, if Shea and them don't be number one in the West, I think the MVPs is Jokic's this year for sure. And it ain't just Tim Hardaway Jr., but he's just one of the pieces that's going to help the Denver Nuggets bench. Josh Minott to the Celtics, not really important. Raptors center Jakob Poeltl got 4 years and $104 million. That's a lot for him, but he is a standard NBA center. He's a poor man's Zubac, but he can play. You know, if you need just a regular ass center, you know, the stock done went up on all these niggas. You can't just get a nigga like Poeltl for the low. But Poeltl, I guess, for Toronto standards, I guess this is a good deal, but that's a lot of money. But get your money, man. Get your money. Can't hate on that. Jericho Sims got a 2-year deal from the Bucks. Bucks need all the pieces they can, bro, because the Bucks over the last 24 hours then turned from Lakers still have no center. Just Jackson Hayes. That's about it, though. That's about it, bro. Zero. You want to know why they ain't got no center? Here's why. The NBA teams know the Lakers don't have no center, right? So what they're doing is, you know, they're taking, well, you know, there's a rumor about Ayton going to the Lakers, but I don't see it. I see Golden State picking up Ayton. I think Ayton's going to end up in Golden State. That's my pick for them. I think it's going to be the Warriors. You know, I'm sure Ayton has had discussions with LA, but I'd be shocked if the Lakers got him because, you know, Ayton going to want some money. Yeah, but I don't think so. I'd be shocked if the Lakers grabbed Ayton. Yeah, and I don't think the Lakers can afford him. I don't think so. I think Golden State can because they lost a lot of players. But yeah, the Lakers can't get a center because the Lakers have called every team about centers. And every team is looking to tax the Lakers. They're saying, you can have our center, but we want 2 first-round picks. They want to cripple the Lakers. Understandable. All of the good centers are off the board except Ayton. Ayton is still decent, but, you know, I heard something about Ayton as to why they cut Ayton. They just didn't like him. He had a poor attitude. He would show up late to meetings and shit. He's just a diva. And he never earned the right to be a diva. And this is why I never liked Dude. Dude always thought he was better than what he actually was. And that was my issue with him. And, you know, he didn't play up to what he signed for. Like, the year before he got that contract, he was really, really good. And he was key in the Suns getting to the finals that year. Hate it or love it, Ayton was decent. But once he got to Portland, he started fucking around, bullshitting. And, you know, he was showing up late to meetings, had a bad attitude, like a light-skinned, thick girl. Yeah. Bad attitude, just horrible. Poor teammate. That's what I heard as to why Ayton got cut. So, I don't know. The Warriors probably his last hope because all they really need is a guy that can get 10 rebounds. He doesn't necessarily even have to play up to what he's capable of because you've got to remember, Ayton went number 1 overall in the same draft as Luka and Trae Young. Can you imagine this motherfucker got picked before Luka and Trae? Anyway, Dennis Schroeder officially signed a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Kings. Decent pickup for the Kings. I don't know what happened to the Malik Monk part of the deal. Maybe they're not done, or maybe they declined. We don't know. What we do know is the Pistons got Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson, which we'll talk about in a moment. I think I either talked about that last night. I don't fucking remember. But, yeah, bro. I hope that the Pistons can attach Malik Monk to a sign and trade. Because, like, we'll have the guard game on lock as far as the bench is concerned. We'll have 3 great guards running off the bench that could get 12 to 14 points each. But Schroeder going to the Kings, I like it. It seems like the Kings want to move on with the team that they had last year. I don't know why. And, you know, they've been looking for a guard. I mean, their first choice was Russell Westbrook, who was another guy that's still out there. Because, you know, Russell Westbrook was rumored to be going to the Sacramento Kings. But I haven't heard anything on that. Milwaukee Bucks traded Pat Connaughton and 2 second-round picks to the Charlotte Hornets for Vasilije Micic. Micic can play. He is a true point guard, and he can score if you ask him to. Milwaukee got a steal. I think he's going to play the 2 and play a secondary playmaker role. Or he might just be the backup point guard and Kevin Porter Jr. start if Milwaukee can't upgrade at guard. Because we'll talk about Damian Lillard shit in a minute. But as far as the Hornets getting Pat Connaughton, veteran player, can lock down the other team's best player, not a bad look. It's not bad at all. Gary Harris went to the Milwaukee Bucks. Gary Harris hasn't necessarily gotten an opportunity to play enough over the last couple of seasons. So I'm anxious to see, like, what Harris can bring to the Bucks. Does he still got it? Can he still defend? Can he hit open threes? Seems like that's a theme for a lot of these Milwaukee Bucks players. This is the big deal of the day. This is one of those low-key deals that can actually turn into something. You don't need to always go for the superstar or the all-star. You could just make a move like this and go from a playoff contender to a championship contender. Sacramento Kings are trading Jonas Valanciunas to the Denver Nuggets for Dario Saric. Dario Saric didn't get much of an opportunity in Denver. That's sad because I think Saric could have provided like 5 to 10 minutes of some good basketball. He's a very skilled player and he's a guy that can pick and pop, man. He can play. Maybe Sacramento will play him more. But Jonas Valanciunas to the Nuggets, I had predicted kind of that Valanciunas needed to be up in Denver because I had a mock trade that sent DeRozan and Valanciunas for Michael Porter Jr. But yeah, Denver got their backup center now. Denver is locked and loaded and ready for another season. No diddy. All right, now. This is a damn shame. So I'm sure everybody knows that Damian Lillard got released. Wow. Fucked me up. Because Damian Lillard, my favorite player to watch right now, man. And it sucks that he tore his Achilles back-to-back years on the same day. Back-to-back years on the same day. Now, from the Bucks' perspective and from a business perspective, I could understand why they cut Lillard. But, bro, I guess they did some tricks to put Damian Lillard's money on a hard cap situation to where it doesn't affect the salary cap, but they still got to pay him. They got to pay him $25 million per year over the next 5 years. That's insane. They have to pay him $125 million over the next 5 years, though. Everybody talk about, the Bucks did Dame dirty. No, the fuck they didn't. They sent their star player off. They set him up right. You're injured. You can't do nothing for us. We had high hopes for you. And I'm sorry this happened to you. So we're going to cut you. We're going to pay you. And then you get to go and pick the team that you want to go to. That was some class act shit by the Bucks. They didn't have to do that. So even if, say for example, Lillard goes somewhere and he gets hurt again, that's fine. Fuck it. All right. I got $25 million coming in for the next, I got 4 more years left. So it's all good. Now I got $100 million coming in now. That's crazy though. Yeah, I'm still shocked behind this, bro. From what I'm hearing, Golden State talking to Dame Lillard. He from Oakland, so I could see something like that happening. That'd be dope as hell. But the thing is, though, I don't think that he'll be healthy for the playoffs unless he comes back around the conference finals or the second round of the playoffs. But I think Damian Lillard needs to sit next year out and fully heal. I think that was his problem the first time that he came back too early from his Achilles injury and tried to play. I think he needs to sit the year out for the best interest of his career because he's up there in age now. He's not 28, 29 anymore. He's 33, 34, 35 range now. A lot of people that tear their Achilles at an old age, they don't never come back. Kevin Durant wasn't old when he tore his Achilles. You look at Kobe, he wasn't the same when he tore his Achilles. There were flashes of the Kobe Bryant of old. I remember Chauncey Billups tore his Achilles on the Clippers. Never came back. Had to retire. So that Achilles could be a death sentence to at least 90% of motherfuckers, especially guys that are like deep into their 30s. So I get why they let go of Lillard. But however, Giannis Antetokounmpo was not happy. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo wanted to team up with Miles Turner. He recruited Miles Turner. He wanted Miles Turner on the Bucks. But what the Bucks organization failed to relay his way is, in order for us to get Miles Turner, we got to cut Dame. They didn't tell him that. Giannis just told him, hey, I want Miles Turner. They went and got Miles Turner. Then they cut Dame. And Giannis was pissed. Y'all think that they trying to push Giannis out of the Bucks so they could get a bunch of pieces and picks for him, or they did what Giannis wanted him to do, but they were just like, this is for you, Giannis. Because Giannis wanted Damian Lillard too. And the Bucks fans mess with Damian Lillard too. So they're just as in shock. Damian Lillard ain't know he was going to get cut. Nobody knew. They was just like, they just made that decision. I think it was the right decision for them. But here's the problem. You got a superstar still in his prime that ain't got enough time left in his prime. And they have to go get another all-star guard. That's the only thing that's going to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo there, is another guard. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think there's really that many guards left over in free agency. I've already discussed this on the show, but yeah, man, cold game. But shit, Damian Lillard all set financially. He's good. All fucking good. So Miles Turner signed to the Bucks for 4 years and $107 million. Bucks are not going to get far in the playoffs with Miles Turner as their second best player. Turner laid an egg in the finals, but throughout those first 3 rounds, Turner was solid. Turner got to turn up then. He's got to average 20 and 10 and 3 blocks if the Bucks are going to be respectable. But on paper, this looks like a play-in team to me. This looks like a 7 seed. It seems like Atlanta and Milwaukee just swap places, you know? That's what it looks like to me. Atlanta becomes a playoff contender. Milwaukee becomes a play-in contender for now, unless they can make another move, which I definitely think they're going to do within the next couple of months. That's crazy about Turner, though. I don't think anybody expected that. That shit was insane, bro. Anyway, shit, was that everything? I don't think that was everything because Gershon Yabusele agreed to a 2-year, $12 million contract with the Knicks. Good pickup. New York Knicks got a great rotation, in my opinion. I guess we could talk winners and losers. And then I woke up to this shit. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting 4 years, $285 million. Much deserved. The greatest player in Oklahoma City history. Had one of the best years, definitely a top 5 year in NBA history, in my book. Definitely one of the top years of his generation. Shai's the future of the league, so I can see that. I think I talked about everything else. So I guess we're going to talk about transactions. Let me see if I can find them on ESPN.com. See what we can find. See if they got them in organized and in order. I see what they got. I guess I'm just going to have to do it by roster then, huh? Let me check their, I guess we can We can talk depth charts. Atlanta Hawks, they definitely won free agency, in my opinion. Atlanta Hawks acquiring Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Kennard, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, drafting Asa Newell. Yeah, they're definitely winners. I'm going, like I said, later on, maybe in a couple of months, I'm definitely going to drop the off-season grades. That's coming soon. We're going to get all that together because everything is written down pretty much. And then they got all of the free agency transactions on ESPN.com. So I got everything written down any motherfucking way. So, yeah, but Atlanta Hawks, they won. You know, now you got a lineup of Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Porzingis, and Okongwu. Then you got Luke Kennard, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Zachary Ricochet, Asa Newell coming off the bench. That's a strong 9-man rotation. Yeah, I like what the Hawks have done for sure. So they're definitely winners. Now, Boston Celtics, they're losers. No disrespect, but I think the Boston Celtics are losers of this free agency because obviously you got the injury to Jason Tatum. You lost Drew Holiday. You lost Porzingis. Now, I do understand that they won as far as getting rid of cap space. From a business standpoint, you can say that the Celtics won, but from a roster standpoint, you can say they lost. And they downgraded a lot of players. Like, now the starting lineup is Derek White, Anthony Simons, Jaylen Brown, Gorgas Niang, and Luka Garza. That's a nasty starting lineup. This team might be they might be a 10th seed. I ain't gonna lie, maybe 9th. But Jaylen Brown finally gets in position to be like, I could be the number one guy. I could be a franchise player. I could be a guy that you can build around. This is a show and prove year for Jaylen Brown. Now, Derek White, his numbers are going to skyrocket. Anthony Simons, he can play. I still think Boston's going to be competitive, but they're just going to lose a lot more games. I mean, you still got Peyton Pritchard, though. Shireman's good. Hauser's good. Hugo Gonzalez, they drafted him. But other than that, though, I think the Boston Celtics lost free agency. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, I couldn't tell you whether if they won or lost. I don't know. You could say 50-50, but I'm going to say they're losers because they missed out on a lot of talent during the draft. They did. They missed out on a lot of motherfucking talent. I mean, currently the starters right now is Jaeger Denham, Cam Thomas, Zaire Williams, Michael Porter Jr., and Nick Claxton. Matter of fact, did I talk about okay, I think there were some things that maybe I forgot to talk about. I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah, because a lot of this shit happened last night. So, yeah, I think I talked about some of this shit on the last show. So, fuck it. Let's get back to the winners and losers. So, Michael Porter Jr. being on Brooklyn. Michael Porter Jr. is going to have the green light and probably going to lead the team in scoring, hands down. But still got Terrence Mann, Traore, Jalen Wilson, Noah Clowney, Danny Wolf. Some decent players, but obviously they're going to be a lottery team. So, Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets are winners, people. They are winners. Because starters are going to be LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Con Knipple, Miles Bridges, and Ryan Kalkbrenner. Then Off the bench, you got Colin Sexton, Josh Green. Oh, man. I'm going to fuck this boy's name up, but Tahani Saloon, Musa Diabite, Grant Williams. He's recovering from an ACL injury or Achilles, I think it was. One of those two. He'll be back at midseason, probably, to help out. They re-signed Trey Mann. Still got KJ Simpson, Nick Smith. Decent team. I think Charlotte might win 34, 33 games next year. They'll be much improved, but still a lottery team, though. But Charlotte Hornets definitely won free agency and the offseason so far. They're definitely winning. Chicago Bulls, I'm going to say they losers. All they did really was draft Noah Asinge and sign Isaac Okoro. That wasn't much of shit at all. Bulls are just an embarrassment. But I don't think they're going to even make the play-in next year with this roster, especially with how all the Eastern Conference teams have improved. Nah. Cleveland Cavaliers. I am going to say they won, barely won. Only because of the Lonzo Ball trade. The Lonzo Ball trade, you re-sign Sam Merrill. You attain the same roster that you had last year, and you add Lonzo Ball. I think that if Lonzo's healthy, Cleveland has a shot to get out of the East. I don't know about winning the championship. That would be overcooking my grits. I'm just going to say that they could come out the East. So I say Cleveland's winning. Dallas Mavericks are big winners, huge winners. I mean, that's starting five right now of Kyrie, Clay, Cooper, Flag, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively. Then you got D'Angelo Russell that's going to fill in for the first half of the season. He reunites with Max Christie and Anthony Davis, his former teammates. Then P.J. Washington coming off the bench. Daniel Gafford, Najee Marshall still there. Jaden Hardy. Dallas's depth is ridiculous. Another team that won, Denver Nuggets. Man, you gain a starter, you swap starters, you get Cam Johnson. You got Jamal Murray, Christian Braun, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. Then you got Bruce Brown, Jonas Valanciunas coming off the bench for this team. Then you still have Strother, Pickett, and Watson. That's a good 10. And then you add Tim Hardaway Jr. It's a really good 11-man rotation. And I forgot about Deron Holmes. Hey, if Deron Holmes could come back and be the player that he was at Dayton, Denver could be a motherfucking problem. Detroit Pistons, they're winners. They're winners because they made small moves, but they are going to make a big impact. They're going to make a big impact on this team. Like Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, they're going to help. I mean, right now, starting five is pretty much the same starting five as of, last year with Cunningham, Ivy, Thompson, Harris, and Duran. Then you have Ron Holland still, Marcus Sasser, Stu, Paul Reed came back. Hopefully Bobby Klintman. Then obviously Chaz Lanier, them drafting him. Detroit definitely won. Golden State Warriors are losers. They haven't done shit. They lowballed Jonathan Kuminga. Did him both. And they just got a lot of questions. They haven't made one move, one signing, nothing. So the Warriors lost. Now, Houston Rockets, big winners. You attain the young boys, the young core. You add Dorian Finney-Smith. You re-sign Adams. Cam Whitmore's there. You re-sign Aaron Holiday, Jayshawn Tate, and Jeff Green. You add KD. You add Dorian Finney-Smith. Houston got them a great rotation. Big contenders for next year. The Indiana Pacers, hate to say it, but they're definitely losers. I mean, losing Miles Turner, you already lost Halliburton for the entire season, but they haven't made any moves this offseason, but we'll see. Still a lot of time left. We just talking about over the last couple of days. LA Clippers, they're slight winners. You re-sign Batum, you add Brook Lopez. Yeah, they won. Harden's back. You still attain most of your team. Fuck it. Memphis Grizzlies, I say they won. They're winners. Because now you got a starting lineup of Morant, Caldwell Pope, Jalen Wells, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey. Oh, man, did y'all hear about Jaren Jackson Jr. fucking up his toe in a pickup game? They say that it's similar to the injury that Darius Garland has. So, ain't no telling. And they saying that this shit requires surgery. So, Jackson probably will be ready on opening day. Because you already got Zach Edey hurt. So now it's a possibility that either Aldama starts or Clark starts. Or Jay Huff. Who knows? But other than that, drafting Cedric Coward, signing Ty Jerome, re-signing Aldama. Not to mention Scottie Pippen Jr. So, yeah, Memphis, despite Jackson's injury, they won. Miami Heat, they're big losers of the offseason. They haven't done a damn thing but acquire Simone Fontecchio. But they did draft Kasparas Giakoušionis. That's probably the only good move that Miami made. But other than that, they haven't done nothing to improve this roster for real. You just add a point guard that's a defensive liability to a team with a bunch of questions. Milwaukee Bucks are big losers of this free agency shit. They're big losers. Man, they need to move Kyle Kuzma to try to get something. I know it's going to be a tough ask, but Milwaukee re-signed pretty much everybody. Added Turner, but doesn't move the needle for Giannis that has championship aspirations. Minnesota Timberwolves, you could say that they lost outside of re-signing Randall. They didn't really make any moves outside of re-signing Randall, re-signing Reed, which is good, but losing Nickeil Alexander-Walker is an L. You gotta go back and re-sign Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Yeah, I forgot the Lakers were big losers, unable to get a center. LeBron opted in. They haven't made a move. New Orleans Pelicans, I think they're winners as far as the draft is concerned. I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. 'Cause, I mean, the Kevon Looney signing was a win for sure. So I could say that the Pelicans won if everybody can be healthy. A lot of injured players currently on the Pelicans right now. New York Knicks, they're winners. Getting Jordan Clarkson to complete that team, big boy move. Big boy move. That's all they needed right there. And then Gershon Yabusele. Also a great move. Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, you can say that they're losers, but as far as free agency part, but the draft part, they always get that right. Sam Presti's a genius. So I can say that the Thunder are losers of the free agency. Orlando Magic, major winners. Getting Desmond Bane. Getting back Jalen Suggs. Drafting Jace Richardson. Signing Tyus Jones. Yep. Magic are winners. Philadelphia 76ers, as far as the draft, they're winners, but I forgot they had Quentin Grimes. But outside of that, they're definitely losers of this free agency because they could sign more role players. I mean, they did sign Trendon Watford, but Johnny Broome is going to be hella underrated. I think he could crack that rotation. Phoenix Suns, I think they're winners. They're definitely winners. Picking up Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Mark Williams, Kaman Maluach. Drafting Rasheer Fleming to go with a pretty good 9 to 10 man rotation. Suns are big winners. They're going to be much better. Portland Trailblazers. I mean, outside of the Drew Holiday move, you could say that they're losers because they did nothing to improve except get Drew Holiday. Portland's got to make a bigger move to impress me. So, yeah. Sacramento Kings drafted Nate Clifford, signed Dennis Schroeder. I guess from a depth standpoint, you could say that they won. Getting Drew Eubanks, too. I say that they super light winners of this shit. San Antonio Spurs, big winners through the draft. And then the Luke Cornett signing was the icing on the cake for this team. Now they can go 10, 11 deep. With the likes of, Fox, Harper, Vassell, Barnes, Wembanyama, Champagne, Keldon Johnson, Luke Cornett, Stephon Castle, Carter Bryant. That's a good rotation in San Antonio. So San Antonio are definitely winners. Now Toronto, I don't know. Them drafting Kyler Murray Boyles, that was good. But as far as free agency is concerned, I think they're losers of the free agency. Utah Jazz, they lose at everything. So I know they drafted Ace Bailey, but they didn't make any free agency moves. And all they did really was trade Colin Sexton for Jusuf Nurkic. Jusuf Nurkic. My bad. TikTok niggas, man. Jusuf Nurkic. Washington Wizards are big winners of the free agency period and the draft as well. Now you have a decent rotation in Washington and Carrington, McCollum, Middleton, Coulibaly, Sarr, Smart, Olenek, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, Will Riley, the other Champagne, AJ Johnson, the young kid. Yep. But all right, guys, I'm going to get the fuck up out of here. Got more videos dropping. Just dropped a new episode. My Diddy verdict is in. My Diddy prediction is, based on the charges and their definitions, I predict that Diddy gets 18 years in prison. That's including with time served, because I think he's guilty of the sex trafficking portion of the trial. But I don't think he's going to get life. But I give him my prediction 18 years for the sex trafficking. But all right, y'all. It's Kingknown NBA Music Talk, and I'm out.